how thrilled and overjoyed we are with Mick Cronin. What he has done is simply the greatest story ever told. And we needed a miracle, and we got a miracle here. Now we're on the crest of a wave where paradise waits, but we have an unbelievable opponent in front of us. Because Gonzaga, they are special, and they are a team for the ages. And this guy, Mark Few, so very similar to John Wooden, and all the players that they have. Come on. I was sitting there. I watched the Conference of Champions every single night, and all these terrific teams. And there should have been 8 teams in the Conference of Champions, but Stanford and Arizona State were just bedeviled by injuries, and Arizona was not eligible for the tournament. And so we still got 5, and I think, 4 of them went to the Elite 8, and now one of them is still alive in the Final 4, and then 2 in the women's side. So it's just been a fantastic year. And I watched the Conference of Champions, and I've been on USC's bandwagon, driving the train really all season long of how great they are. And they came out, and Gonzaga, they just made them look like they weren't even ready to play. And that's what great teams do. They define the terms of the conflict, and that's what UCLA is challenged to do, is to not let Gonzaga just run and flow. I mean, Gonzaga, it's like the Columbia River coming down. It's like Celilo Falls before they put the Dalles Dam up there and took away the Indians' fishing spots. And it was just such a beautiful, beautiful place up there in the Northwest with Coeur d'Alene and the Gorge and all these different magnificent volcanoes and lava flows. And now you've got this Gonzaga team, which UCLA is up against. And Gonzaga is a team for the ages. And this is going to be the ultimate challenge. But what great champions do, I mean, think of what Muhammad Ali did. Did you remember his book in the late 70s? I think it was just called The Greatest. And it opened with in the ring in Africa against George Foreman in the first round. And that was like the first paragraph of the book. And Muhammad Ali, who was supremely confident and just the greatest of all time in terms of his impact on the world. And he goes in there, and all of a sudden he finds himself all by himself against George Foreman, and then everything had to change. But as the great champions do, they make the other team play their game. They turn them to become irrelevant cannon fodder. And that's generally what Gonzaga has been able to do to all of their opponents this year. I just love the way they play. I love their culture, style, and identity. Everything about them is just over-the-top fantastic. Their players, Timmy, Suggs, Ayayi, Corey Kispert, Nembhard, and then Watson, and they just keep coming, and they're totally interchangeable. And they remind me so much of the Boston Celtics in the early 70s, one of the great teams ever. Cowens, Havlicek, Silas, Nelson, JoJo White, Don Chaney from the Houston Cougars, Elvin Hayes, and then you either had Paul Westphal or Charlie Scott. It also reminds me of a classical music symphony. Maybe it's Tchaikovsky. Maybe it's Mozart. Maybe it's Beethoven's Crashing Thunder. But whatever it is, it's a whole group, a whole team in unison following the coach's lead. It's almost like it's not even almost. It is like being in the pit at a Grateful Dead concert when they have broken into the songs of today. Help on the Way, Slipknot, Franklin's Tower, St. Stephen, the 11th. Let's get going. Let's drive this thing over the top, get in our own volcanic explosion, and let's see who can play, who's got a game, and who's ready to go.
Well, and you got a ticket. You don't need a miracle. You got a ticket. You're going for Westwood 1.
I got a ticket on Westwood 1 with Howard Dennerock.
That's right. Jim Gray.
I got a seat next to Jim Gray, who's just going to be working the phone, who's going to be everywhere with everybody. It's going to be a terrific show there. We want to salute all these great athletes who have worked so hard. We wish that everybody's going to be safe, and we just hope that we can get the equity on the women's side that they deserve, and that it's on our soul. It's a stain and stigma that is just unfair and not right at all. And we're willing to stand up. We're willing to kneel down. We're willing to take any steps necessary to get them what they deserve.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.